Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. Pardon me, I have a Ricola. I don't know what I have, whether it be a stuffy nose or it's the atmosphere, whatever. Anyway, so I apologize for the way I sound. You're going to see lights in the background over here. There's something behind the camera. To find out what the lights are from and everything else, check out Comic Frontline. Probably by the time this video is up, that video will be up. It's a special way of doing our haul video. Got a huge amount of stuff, and I had this humongously crazy idea, so I did it.
Yeah, you did.
And now we have to, kind of put everything back.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. So we couldn't put everything back today, so we're gonna do it tomorrow. But besides the point, we have 11 digital books, 3 physical books. I did have a book from Dan, but unfortunately my email is being a pain in the ass, so I couldn't get it. So next week we will have something from Argo Comics. So look forward to that. This week, everything's in the week. And we are in the first week of July, July 2nd. So we are done with the recap. So we have the Zenescope book in here, and none of the IDW books yet, but when we get to them, we will have them in the review as well. So let's start, Michael. All those books are physicals.
Mine. Yes. From Vertigo, we have Hinterkind, issue number 9. I'm really not too sure about Hinterkind lately, because, like, in this comic book, it just focused on either one character, because, you know, in Hinterkind used to have, like, the Doctor and Starla and all that. They're really not featured in this comic book. Like, we get introduced to this new villain called the Elder, who's like a vampire, so to say. And it really, like, talks about him and the story about, you know, like, how they fought against the Predators, and after they fell against the Sidhi, I think, and all that stuff. Here's some artwork, which as always is a little bit sketchy, but, you know, like, all that. And then we get to Angus talking with his friend, I don't remember his name, like, the troll, like the little troll. And he's worried about, you know, Prosper, and saying, you know, what happened and everything, and he, you know, there's like so much he wants to do, but, you know, his tail in the way. He doesn't want people to get suspicious. So the both of them run into a little trouble with the people we saw from the last comic issue. And then we get to where her name was Prosper, because I forgot what her name was in last issue. So Prosper and John are going to find their way out to try to find people, and it was a bit of an explosion that happened, and well, let's just say both Prosper and John are going to have a little bit of an invasion, and that can't be good. So, I don't know, like, it was okay, but if like another issue or so is gonna be like this, maybe I'll have to drop it. But
Wow.
you know, it's not because it's just like there's not much of, like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I just wasn't feeling, you know, like the other issues did.
You weren't feeling it.
But from Zenescope, we have Oz One Shot.
This is all leading into
Grimm Fairy Tales. And the whole thing before 100. And is it just me, or are the villains winning more than the good guys?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the Age of Darkness.
I know, I'm just saying, you know.
Artwork's beautiful in this book,
Yeah.
by the way.
Like, let me show some...
That's the Dark Knight, I believe.
Yeah.
Or the...
Well, this is the Dark Queen.
That's the Dark Queen, I'm talking about the Knight.
Yeah.
I forgot what he was.
Yeah. Like, here's some artwork. This is just amazing artwork. And, you know, like, so they have, like, a little bit of a fight scene, and, she offers him, like, revenge and all of Oz, unless,
Yeah, she's putting all these people together. Like, she got the Tooth Fairy from Grimm Fairy Tales. She's getting this whole evil group of people together.
Exactly. And then there's this whole, invasion that happens afterwards when the Knight works with the Dark Queen and everything. I just like how it's like all being put together. Like how she's like trying to do that and everything. And how the story actually developed in this. So, Scarecrow and
Lion.
Lion.
I forgot his real name, but go ahead.
I know, like they both hear about, that there's been an invasion of like flying gorillas or something, because they're not flying monkeys. They're like those flying gorillas. And when they find out, a lion tries to fight them off, but yeah, he really gets it good in this issue. But there is a little help from.
Well, that's Ozma's apprentice.
Yeah. And the artwork's still amazing.
Glinda's.
Yeah, Glinda's, yeah. And so when Scarecrow finds out that Lion's been attacked, he tries to send the TikToks to attack, but that doesn't happen. And Scarecrow gets burned to shreds as well. So, with 2 down, the Knight now faces against Dorothy with this amazing splash page right here. And it just sets, basically just to end the fight scene, the bad guys won and the good guys lost.
Oz was over.
Oz was over, yeah. It did lead into, it says I think Grimm Fairy Tales 100. Let me just make sure if I am correct. Yeah, next Grimm Fairy Tales 100. So, the Knight got what he wanted, but let's just find out what happens.
Oz was decimated, basically.
Exactly. So I really liked it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of villains being the good guys, but Grimm Fairy Tales 100, maybe things will be, a little bit.
Well, the dark evil's gonna win, and then we're gonna see it.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad comic. Like, this was really excellent. Absolutely.
No, we're not. You're saying you don't like the bad guy. I know.
Yeah, I'm just my opinion. Oh, I'm taking a comic book guy and introduce it. Archie Comics of Sonic Universe, The Great Chaos Casper, Part 3 of 4 of Sonic Universe, issue number 65, where Knuckles and Team Chaotix meet up with a new character, and he goes by name of oh god, I remembered it now. It just left me. This character right here. He was actually in the Sonic Unleashed video game, from what people have been telling me, because I know some people who read this comic book. So he tries to find his way out, and Knuckles is trying to say, you're all scaring him, so let's just keep him with us because of the whole Chaos Emerald that he has that. And he has like a long story of how he got the... Chip is his name. Thank you, Chip. So he's trying to be with them, but Bark, Knack, and Bean, those little, I think rascals or something like that, I can't... something like that. They bump into them, and they're with the whole Chaos Emerald thing of that. We got a little eclipse that was from the Shadowfall thing, so I thought that was pretty cool. And the artwork's classic and amazing. So Knuckles tries to come up with a plan to try to save Chip from not getting kidnapped with the Chaos Emerald. Then they get trapped by the Dark Gaia Titan, which is in this issue right here. And basically those 3 captured Chip, and now Knuckles and Team Chaotix are going to go up against the Titan, along with the Off-Pound, that's funny, and all that other stuff. So we have only one more chapter left to go until the conclusion of that. I did leave out a lot of stuff because I wanted you guys to read it. This by far was my book of the week from physical form.
Oz was mine.
Yeah, Oz. Like, between Oz and this, yeah, but definitely some to check out, especially for the kids if they're Sonic fans or Knuckles, because like Knuckles story.
Sonic Universe usually focuses on
like
several
one
characters.
specific character, yeah. But looking forward to seeing how we're going to conclude this, and yeah.
All right. Digital comics now. My guilty pleasure always gets mentioned here, and that is Garfield issue number 27. Consecutive artwork. All artwork is basically the same. Lisa's doing the colors. She does an amazing job with the colors. The book looks amazing regardless because it's Garfield. And you get some Sunday classics. The Sunday classics. You get some nice little Garfield posters. And you get some, what are these called? The Many Moods of Garfield.
Oh yeah, I like that part.
You can't ask for anything more. Enough said. If you love Garfield like I do, you'll love reading this book. If you don't, you probably won't be getting it anyway. So, my guilty pleasure, always have to mention it because it's an awesome book. On to a book that we will discuss though. Witchblade, issue number 176. Artwork took a change in this issue. It was a pretty dark book. Not to complain though, because it still was pretty good. These two boys go missing, and it's up to Witchblade and her new, why does her name leave me? To me, she's new because I haven't, Rooney.
Yeah.
They're looking for the two missing boys, which leads them to this, amusement park. What's the amusement park called? I have no clue. But anyway, they're there looking for the boys. They don't find anything, but they think that the old man is hiding something, the old owner whom they talk to. So at night, using the Witchblade, they break in again and do another search. The dog that attacked Sarah in the beginning of the issue turns out to be a mutant or a demon or whatever. She finds that out, and we find out that the owner of the now abandoned carnival / whatever is also a demon. And this is where I don't understand. Witchblade goes into the fun house. This girl gets jumped by the owner, who happens to be a demon and a demon clown nonetheless. And then not even a few minutes later, Sarah emerges with the two boys, threatens the guy with the Witchblade, and he runs away. That's it. And then Rooney's like, "You've only been gone a few minutes. How'd you do that?" She's like, "Where I was, it was a few weeks." Now, honestly, I was kind of hoping we would have gone with Sarah then, because if she was gone for a few weeks, it would have been nice to see the story work its way through a little bit more. Because by work its way through. This was a one-issue story, because that's it. The end. They save the boys run off, and now she says something attracted this opening to this other reality. It's like, why couldn't we get to see the other reality? Why?
Maybe they wanted to make it interesting, to make like there are some comic books, like I noticed, like how some of them at the end they leave it to like something like really huge. Like it could be so boring in the beginning, and it's like always at that point at the end is where it gets really interesting to see.
I would say this was an average read, honestly, this week. I loved the last issue. This issue just felt average to me. Literally cut and dry case. Saved the boys, the end, and we don't even know how she did it. We just know that she was gone for weeks, even though it was a couple of minutes in our world.
Yeah.
Whatever. So average read this week for Witchblade. Hopefully it gets better next month with Jersey Devil. On to Tech Jacket, issue number 1. What did you think, Michael? I thought the artwork was really good.
Yeah. But yeah, Tech Jacket talks about, I like how they do the childhood at first, like when he was with his father and he wanted to know more about outer space and everything. And we do get a little bit of a profile of him, of the guy who runs the Tech Jacket. He's basically the a guardian of something. Like it comes up with, no, like down further, it's down further. And, yeah, like right there.
Galactic Guardian of Earth.
Yeah, and basically they give like a big profile of him, and this new villain, is like, I'm guessing jealous of him because of the way he is and everything, but with that, he has like a army that's going to be going after him because of, I guess, all that jealousy and everything, which some characters do have with these good guys. The artwork is drawn really nicely. However, he gets a message that his girlfriend from a different planet, like something really bad is actually happening. And it's where they have to evacuate the area. And he wants to find out what happened on that planet. Like, is she okay and is she safe? So what he does is that he's going to go to that planet where, you know, everything is. He has a really awesome costume, like that whole robot
I love
thing.
the tech jacket, yeah.
I know, it's like really, really amazing. So he gets there just to find some answers, but to find the answers, let's just say that it's going to be a little bit tougher than he thought. So we're going to find
This looks
out.
like a promising series, I will say that.
It does, really. So it was a great story, great origin story of the person, and with a great beginning. But definitely check it out. Cause,
Alright, let's
it's
see
really,
what we got left.
yeah.
We have 2 more from Boom, so let's do Boom. Let's start with this one.
That? Okay.
Robocop issue number 1, written by Joshua Williamson and art by Carlos Mag. No. What'd you think,
Yeah.
Mike? I thought it was. I stopped reading
To be
halfway
honest,
through because I really just didn't.
Yeah,
didn't
like, to
grab
be
me.
honest, I actually liked it, but I think, if I'm correct, I think it was from one of the RoboCop movies, like from like I think the 70s or something. Like, it sort of relates to it. Like, I like how they did the whole RoboCop thing of how he was one time a human, and then when he got shot, that they put him back together as a robot to keep him alive. And he's like really indestructible, RoboCop. Like, everyone thinks like, oh, he's nothing, he's just a big tin man, I could take him down, but apparently they got what was coming to them. But he's really like saying, you know, surrender now or just be shot, so, you know, that's what he is. So his partner that's working with him, I don't remember what her name was, like, the lieutenant or the boss actually wants them to work together, and she's not really crazy.
Lewis?
I think Lewis. And she's really not crazy working with him and everything, with all this, you know, stuff that she has in mind, but there's a bit of a handshake at the end of a deal that
I didn't get to
RoboCop
this
makes
part.
with someone. And if you want to find out what it is, definitely read the comic issue to find out. But I thought it was okay, like an average read. But for those of you who like RoboCop or have seen the movies in the past, this may interest you, and if not, then you won't.
What about this issue? Big Trouble in
yes.
Little China, issue number 2.
This comic book, I'm telling you, that guy right there, I think his name was Jack or something. Like, he's really something else.
Yes,
Like,
Jack.
yeah. His sarcasm and everything reminds me of Spider-Man, this guy. Or maybe Sonic a little bit. But beside the point, he takes a challenge from the Emperor, saying that to look for something for him to save his friend. And what he needs to do is go to Midnight Road. So his sidekick there, along with his gorilla friend, or I'm not sure if he calls a friend really of his, go to Midnight Road after the guy found the way there in a magic way. It was used with magic powers. So this place that they go to, it was like very, very weird, and the artwork was drawn very nicely, I will say that. And the guy says, I'm going to find information, so don't talk to anybody. So who he talks to is this guy on a big, huge turtle, which, even though he told him not to talk to them. And they're exchanging stories with one another of, you know, like,
Oh my god.
like the past. Yeah, that was kind of disturbing-ish for Jack's side. But he explains a story about how he had this girl one time, and she was a vampire, basically. And they're not together anymore. So afterwards, when that guy came out, he like stole their eggs or something like that. And you know, because that was one of the missions that they had to do to save their friends, because they're running out of time because they have I think 3 days from what they said in the beginning. So you know, the journey's like really hectic and it's like going like everywhere and stuff like that. So yeah, they just have this thing where he had to go directions left or right, so he chooses left. So he chose the right path because there's no map there, obviously. It's either up, down, left, or right. And he got to the main core of where he was actually headed towards. So you can definitely check it out. Very adventurous. I liked it. And I just like his sarcasm, but his sarcasm is going to get him killed, I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. This book, I didn't make it past the first page. From
No.
Dynamite Comics, Splinter Cell Echoes, issue number 1.
I'm sorry, I tried.
There
to
are
like this.
some games that I would like to see a comic book made of. Mario.
Yeah.
I'm glad they made one for Tomb Raider.
Oh, yes.
Resident Evil.
And the Sonic books.
Right.
You know.
But Splinter Cell doesn't fit.
It doesn't. Like, I've read this issue. The only thing I'm guessing what it was about, just to put it short, was that the main character, like, they want him to hack into the computer system to find out, like, some information and stuff like that. I mean, the dialogue was really heavy on some of the pages. And it just didn't make sense, some of them. Like, they did, like, the whole thing of what happened 17 days earlier, of how they want him to go on this mission to hack computers and everything. And of course you get the suit with the green goggles and all that stuff because Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell is what's the main part of the cover page. The woman there that does all this, I really don't trust her, and I really hate her guts for some reason.
I'm not coming back for the next issue.
I couldn't either. I tried liking this issue. I just didn't feel... No, I mean that's the best I can give as a review. I mean, if you guys want to check it out for yourselves, for those of you who have played the Splinter Cell games, maybe you'll like it. But I tried.
And I missed an Image book, Protectors Inc. issue number 7. How's that going, Michael?
This comic book was very interesting. Talks about Detective John Riley, who has a really amazing conversation with Angel about the whole murder scene of what's going on. And I like how they talked about her powers, how she tries to use it, but then she could like find a way to turn it off, the power, because she wanted to give the detective some type of evidence that leads into the case of what Detective John was looking for. So he gives she gives him you know, what he was looking for. But then at the point, you know, she felt a little bit invasive, like saying, okay, now you're asking me too much questions about my powers, so I think our talk is over. So he heads to this apartment where there's another murder scene that happened where this guy was, I think, beaten by a bat or something. And he's saying, like, you know, he had a cell phone in his hand, so who knows if it was just planted there or maybe he didn't reach the phone in time. You know, there's like a lot of scenarios, like he said, of what happened. So he sees this person with a familiar face, like saying, wait, I've seen this guy somewhere before. And when he tries to follow him, it's a dead-end street, but on the rooftop is the shadow, you know, the shadow image of the person. So I mean, there was lots of talk and stuff like that, but this the crime scene though is really getting closer to the answer, so gives you like that Law and Order feeling to it, but more of a detective like comic book. So for those of you who are detective fans, then you'll like it then.
Angel and Faith, season 10, issue 4, the final parts of the first story arc. Faith isn't fitting in at Deep Scan. As a matter of fact, she leaves. She walks out the door and calls for a cab.
Wow.
Angel, however, is stuck fighting Pearl, a character that him and Faith, fought previously, and I think it was her brother Nash was killed by Faith, and she wants to take her revenge out on Angel and Faith. However, she's settling for Angel at the moment. Angel's trying to cool the situation off because all he wants is Corky. Of course, that doesn't work. He ends up using one of the bottles from the glass blower, which has magic inside of it. Blinds Pearl. All of a sudden, Angel has the ability to basically scare off every single one of the Pixies and capture Corky. When it took 4 issues, when the first time we saw him, it was impossible for Angel to even get his hands on him. Now, easy. Grabbed him. Anyway, he brings him back to... What's her name? I forgot her name. Wow. Amanda was her name, I believe?
I think her name was Amanda. Because I remember her. Either was Amanda or Grace.
Let's check, hold on.
I don't know. Like, I can't remember all characters. Nadira, yeah.
Nadira. And asked Nadira, he said, you know, I've been going off my instincts and everything's been going wrong, so I started following your advice and everything went right, so I decided to bring Corky to you. What do we do? She hears his voice. It says to open up the magic bottle, one of the bottles with the magic in it. She opens it up. Corky gets sucked in by this magical mist or cloud.
So why would she open it? I mean,
I don't know.
Wouldn't it cause, like, you know, stuff of
something told her to. And she put him. He goes inside. She puts the cork back on and says, "Well, we know where he is when we need him." And Angel's like, "Did you do that?" She's like, "Nope. The magic did." Okay. So right before Faith leaves, her friend Kennedy offers her another job. She's like, you know, I put my neck out for you. This isn't the way you treat Deep Scan. And then she's like, I have this. Just look at this file. She's like, no, I think I'm leaving. She's like, just look at it. She looks at the file. Turns out it's a missing person. Who is it? Read the issue and you'll know who. And I guess Faith is staying for now. Angel, however, is still trying to figure out who the Pixies were working for. He knows that there's something more going on. And the Pixies are working for somebody else. And we find out in the last page who that somebody else is now. You want to find out who that is? Again, read the book. Angel and Faith has been a spectacular series thus far. I'm loving Season 10. Can't wait to see the next episode or the new story arc that's coming out next month. And yeah, so I would highly recommend Angel and Faith. Now, guys, just give us 2 seconds. We're going to switch over, and then we will conclude this week with IDW. All right, and we're back. Now we're at Dexter's Laboratory, issue number 4. How was it?
And this is the final issue, actually, to the whole...
series?
Well, yeah, the series of this. And Dexter, like, he's just trying to get his sister back and everything. And, you know, like, he's just trying to... you know, escape from Dee Dee's clan, like 2 friends and stuff like that. And the things like he has to go through, like he just wants to do everything he can to get his sister back because he really misses her. So he said the only way, like, I'll promise you that I will learn how to dance, or just dance really like how she does. So then she awoke from her dream and everything, and decided to go back with him to the regular dimension. And now the queen, from what we saw in the last issue, is now queen again of the land. So that was one way of ending it. So when Dexter reawoken from the simulation, from the helmet, I guess, he went to see if Dee Dee is actually in existence, because she wasn't in existence in the simulation world, but or in the world without her and everything. So she's like saying, but you promised me, you know, that dance thing, and he couldn't believe she remembered that, and he's just dancing. And then Mandark, his name? Yeah, we get a little bit of Mandark where he goes, you know, haha, I'm gonna fool Dexter and I'm gonna find out what this helmet is about, and it doesn't work. So he's like saying, well, I'm going to find out more right after my nap and everything. So, yeah. And also, don't forget to read about the Super Crisis war that's actually been going on in this event that I can't wait for. But great to see that Dexter found his sister, got her back, everything's fine, and everyone lived happily ever after the end.
Now we're in the Secret War with Dexter.
Now we're in the Super Crisis Secret War. Yeah, Secret War, that's what it was. Secret
Whatever. Anyway, Indestructible issue number 7. How's that going? Because Indestructible was for me after a while. It got
Really,
boring.
I really enjoyed this. Indestructible? Are you sure you read the right book? Because this was actually pretty cool. Like, we find out that Greg was in that photo shoot, and his friend Barry there sent the police because it was an unlicensed thingamajigger over there, so he got out of there. And also we got a new character that the female character that doesn't really like Greg, but yeah. And what they're doing is that they have to get ready for the red carpet premiere, which both Greg and Barry have to go to. I also like how he came up with the new name, like Farmstrong, and then he added Lance Farmstrong for Barry's sidekick name character. And I thought that was pretty cool. Artwork is great, you know, and there are some stuff that happen here and there, but I'll let you guys read the book to find out. So, he talked, Greg was saying to one of the girls from the last issue, or from issues before, that he left her a message saying that really meant a lot to her, you know, I guess uninvited much, and she doesn't really feel bad about that. You know, because there was a whole big thing of what's been going on there. So they make it to the red carpet premiere and everything else, but there's a villain who was actually introduced in the middle of the story that is going to be a... let's just say that this new villain, Greg's going to have a lot of stuff at hand. Like, I don't know if it's a demonic creature, because, like, it's just like this...
He's like a shadow.
A shadow, exactly. So, and we don't get the name of the villain. Like, he just said he's going to do what he wants to do. And he had possession for one of these, for this guy that actually wanted to hack into a computer or something in relations to probably find out more about Greg. I don't know. Like, that's basically all I can remember from what I read. But, Greg and Barry, like, they're funny. I really enjoyed that comic book. So,
To each their own.
Yeah, to each his own. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, in my opinion, I liked it. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And finally this week,
Yes.
Star Mage, issue number 4. This book, however, was really good.
Yes, it actually shows the bully that we saw from the first issue that was bullying Darian. I think that's how you say his name. And there's like this huge tidal wave tsunami that happens where he is on the island. And with his dog, he actually found a secret lair where I think Darian was in and something like that. But stuff goes wrong for him. So we go into the galaxy where Darian says about, you know, all the people that he knows about and basically what he studied from what he knows. All the good guys, the villains, which I have a funny feeling we're going to be seeing in the comic book, because it's obvious if they're talking about the villains, they're going to show up one way or another. So, as the issue continues, there's like a little fight that he has with one of the people there, and it got a little bit out of hand, but they stopped it, and then he says, you know, I blame myself for this, so... Then there was other people at hand that came in.
A lot of action.
Yeah, and the artwork's realistically drawn amazing, and he uses a certain power, Darian, that almost got himself killed, but he was, you know, alive again, so that was a good sign. Then the king of the land wanted to talk with Darian, and what the king wanted to talk to him about was, you know, like sooner or later, you know, that you should take over my footsteps and stuff like that. And he says something about his father, of what he once joined in as the issue continues on. And Darian says, you know, I don't believe you because my father wouldn't do such a thing and join them. And well, let's just say in the end he found out the hard way and possibly the truth of what his father really did. So that's something else. And then there's like little comic shorts at the end, which I didn't really bother reading because they were just like 2-panel shorts. But Star Mage is picking up very interesting, and from what I saw, from what he said about the villains, like, you know, because I know they're going to appear in the comic book, I want to see how and when, if they come in, how they're going to take care of them, and if they should show up at any time, and how the whole thing of finding out about his father is going to impact on him. So we're going to find out more when the next issue of that comes out. And that's basically all I have to say about it.
And that's it for the show, guys. Don't forget to check out comic-related Comic Frontline and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Guys, comments, like, dislike, questions, recommendations, agree or disagree with anything we said here, feel free to leave them below, and your comments will be heard on this week's weekly comic book haul.
Yep.
Most of the time it's on Friday. Sometimes it's on Saturday. Guys, everything's late because I'm trying to catch up on the recaps. That's really all I could say. Once I catch up with these recaps, now that I've got the stuff back in the indie reviews, we won't have to worry about that anymore. It's a podcast this week. Well, last week was canceled due to the fact that, honestly, with all the recap stuff that I have to do, I haven't had time to even think of a good podcast show anyway. So hopefully this week will be better. Hopefully I'll catch up on everything, and hopefully you guys will get some recaps. So until then, though, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Later, everybody.
Take care, everybody.